So Canelo said he hurt his wrist. His wrist was hurting basically ever since the Caleb Plant fight, and kind of that's his built-in excuse for his performance with Dimitri Bivol and his performance versus Gennady Golovkin. Said that, you know, with that injury, he said it's not broken, but with that injury, he couldn't really work on explosiveness. I'm guessing in the Bivol and Golovkin camps. So he said that he think he might take some time off. He might come back in May. He might come back in September. He fought 4 times in 11 months, and that is an accomplishment today, because ain't nobody really else doing that in boxing. You know, back in the day, that was routine. You know what I'm saying? But basically, he blaming his wrist for his last few performances, couple performances. But let's talk about it. Check out the Boxing News playlist. Thumbs up the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel. Next subscribe button is the bell icon button. Hit all notifications, increase your chance. Get notifications. We go live or drop a video. So, I mean, it is what it is. It's always some excuse with this dude. Sneeze, you know, wrist, all that type of stuff. I mean, obviously, he was fighting a senior citizen in there. So, you know, they kind of even up the playing field. I thought the cards was a smidget closer than I thought they were. But, you know, it is what it is. He getting older. Them nagging injuries, you know, they going to be there. You're going to have to work to deal with them and all that stuff. But it still looked terrible in his last 2 performances. Even in the win with Triple G, that wasn't even worth $5. You know what I'm saying? He sit here and said he was gonna knock him out in the first round, and he wanted to go for the knockout and all that stuff, and didn't even hurt that man. You know, then turn around and tell the consumer that it's my wrist after the fight. And obviously, you don't want to reveal what your injury is and none of that stuff, because, you know, then Golovkin start aiming for the wrist or whatever the situation where the injury was. So, I mean, he said it ain't broken. He said he been dealing with it. Now he just gonna have to go ahead and get surgery on it. So, like I said, it's always something with that dude, man. He just not that great a fighter. Neither was Triple G. And I said what I said. And I know what real fighters look like. You know, Canelo Alvarez is just somebody that's bigger than everybody else. Or just got, I don't want to say bigger than everybody else. He's just somebody who, you know, got the star power. He got a little bit of talent, you know. Nothing out of this world. Nothing ain't nobody ever seen before. But he was crazy inaccurate last night. You know, or Saturday night. But it is what it is. I mean, hopefully they don't think about doing a 4th fight. You know, but, you know, he need to take some time off. You know, he fought that many times in a year, and, you know, I doubt if he come back after. That's probably gonna be the excuse. He come back after surgery, be like, well, I just want to test my surgically repaired wrist before I go fight Dimitri Bivol. What he hoping is that Bivol even lose to Ramirez, or he fight better Biev and lose to better Biev. Then he gonna pop his head back in that hole. So that's what he expecting to do. You know, that's my humble opinion on it. That's what he expecting to do. Like I said, to each his own. But that dude is, you know, man, last night, something was wrong with his ass. And Golovkin was sitting there being super duper gun shy and shit, man. You know, he was, you know, he wasn't warmed up. And that's the issue. You know, but, you know, a lot of people wanted to see that fight. Now you see why a lot of other people didn't want to see the fight. So, I mean, you know, it is what it is, but, you know, I think that's what he's going to do to try to avoid Dimitri Bivol as long as possible. You know, if you're injured after the Caleb Plant fight, you're undisputed, you pretty much can do what the hell you want to do. Why not rest, heal the wrist, you know, you can come back. You know, you could have came back this September, fought Golovkin, fought Bivol, whatever you wanted to do. So, I mean, maybe he got a, you know, doctor's opinion and was saying that, oh, it'll heal on his own. You know, but if you fighting in September, then you come back in May, then you come back in September, and you got to stay in condition in between the fights, it ain't, you know, It's gonna be hard for it to heal on its own because you don't really have a true off season. So to me, it just, build more excuses. He said he didn't want to make no excuses after the Beaver fight, but he had a ton of excuses. Nobody going into fights 100%. Only people that go into fights 100% is them dudes that's well under 30. It's 25, 23, 20 years old, maybe around 27, 28 years old. They the only ones who really going into fights, the closest to 100%. And maybe even now going into your 30s, they fight once or twice a year. So you got plenty enough time to heal your body. But, if that's the case, we'll see what he look like with 100% risk. He didn't go into specifics or strong what he said he wasn't broke, but it's been hampering his performances. He said he suffered it in the Caleb Plant fight. So it's always another one thing or another, man. To me, he ain't that great. Golovkin ain't that. Neither one of them is great. They good. They're not very good. They good, but ain't nothing really to write home about. That was a horrendous fight, especially for two fighters who shared the ring with each other for 24 rounds. That was a horrendous fight. Triple G looked fucking doughy and old. And Canelo Alvarez looked very inaccurate and not polished. You know what I'm saying? You got an old-ass dude in there that really wasn't throwing that much, and you couldn't do shit. He missed way more punches than he landed. Like way more. Like double what he landed. That's what it looked like to me. A lot of times they were saying shit that landed that didn't even land for him. So that's why I believe in the computer or copy box, whatever they call it at the zone. That's why I don't believe in that shit. And he want to blame it on his wrist, so be it. So be it. But don't change the fact that, you know what I'm saying, you couldn't do shit with Gennady Golovkin, and he ain't shit to begin with. Sergey Derevchenko handled Gennady Golovkin better than Canelo Alvarez did in 3 fights. You know what I'm saying? Danny Jacobs did too. Danny Jacobs legitimately beat that man, but they couldn't have Chocolito on Triple G losing on the same night in MSG. So to me, it ain't nothing to write home about Gennady Golovkin, dude. Motherfucker's a fraud. He's a match-made fraud. If he really was with the shits, man, he would have came over to America, cleaned out the middleweight division, and did something. He didn't do shit his whole career. This dude was a mercenary. Everything he did was the intent to maximize revenue. That's it. He ain't want no problem. Andre Ward would have knocked Gennady Golovkin ass clean the fuck out. Carl Frost probably would have knocked his ass out too. Kelly Pavlik would have beat him. Arthur Abraham at 60 would have beat him. You know what I'm saying? Nothing special to write home about. And they would have beat him. They wouldn't need 3 shots like Canelo Alvarez. That nigga Gennady Golovkin is by far the most overrated fighter I ever seen. By far. And Canelo struggled with him. He overrated too. Very overrated. Dude wouldn't even sniff a title in the 90s. That's 60. Or 54, nonetheless. Motherfucker wouldn't even sniff a major. He probably could get the WBO because then it wasn't recognized. But it's always something. That shit was a shitty ass performance for any. I feel like I wasted my life watching that shit. For 2 fighters that know each other as well as they did, that was a shitty performance. All bark, no bite. All bark, no bite. Canelo Alvarez looking worse and worse with every performance. And at 32 years old, of course, he on the down slope of his prime. But I'll be glad when this fucking reign over with, dude, because he ain't shit neither. Dude is just super duper manufactured. He ain't shit neither. But knee, wrist, whatever it was, not impressed. He can knock out those the white boys like Caleb Plant and Billy Joe Saunders and dudes like that. But I don't know what the zone gonna do, honestly. Because if I don't know nobody that paid $85. The stream was smooth as the baby's ass. My stream dropped one time, and I clicked another link, and that shit was riding like a goddamn Ferrari. So usually when a lot of people trying to watch it, it'll buffer and all that type of stuff, but it wasn't buffering. I don't think nobody cared, bro. And a lot of these, so-called, Triple G fans and Canelo fans, they big for this shit, and this is why people didn't want to see it. The first fight, it was all right. That, the second fight, the first fight was the best one of all. In the second fight, you had to wait 3 hours for the fight to come on. Third fight just was like, boxing's fucking dead looking at that shit. Then he go talking about his wrist and all that type of shit, man. Hey, man, got fuck up out of here. That dude really trying to avoid the Beeble ass whooping. I think I went to rematch, but they contracted to fight Golovkin. Man, dude, you was contracted to stay with Golden Boy. You found a way out the contract. So, it is what it is. Let's hope you make 100% recovery, and we'll see where it goes from there. Thumbs up the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel, and the subscribe button. It's the bell icon button. Hit all notifications, increase your chance to get notifications. We go live or drop a video. Financially, you want to support the channel, Cash App, $CJGood313, Venmo, CJGood313, PayPal link description. Hit the link tree. You can find me on Twitch, Twitter, Instagram, Spotify, Anchor, Cash App, Venmo, PayPal, Apple Podcasts, the whole 9, Cash App, Venmo, PayPal there. Let me know in the comment section, Pete.